What's the most valuable thing you have? I'll give you a hint. 3, 2, 1. I just took 3 units of it from you. Time. Your time is the most valuable thing you have. If time is the most valuable thing you have, and attention is the currency you use to spend time, then attention is the most valuable resource you have. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the crypto attention economy. If time is money, then what's your time worth? I'm going to be talking to you about the value of human attention and how crypto helps you monetize it. Part 1. The value of human attention. To understand just how valuable human attention is, let's look at the 5 most valuable tech companies: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google. Or as I like to call it, Mama. Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon. 3 out of 5 of these companies make money in a pretty simple way that we all understand. They make stuff, we buy their stuff, we give them money. But Facebook and Google have a very interesting business model. They make stuff, billions of users use their stuff, but very few users actually give them money for the stuff they're using. How is that? Let me give you a little quiz. There's a $20 billion product out there that 99.85% of people use it for free. Do you know what it is? Hint. It has $20 billion in revenue in 2020. It has 2.3 billion users and 30 million premium subscribers. Can you guess who it is? It's YouTube. How is it possible that YouTube has managed to build a $20 billion company when more than 99% of its users don't pay for it? Well, that's because they're attention merchants. The profitable business of buying and selling human attention. In his book, The Attention Merchants by Tim Wu, he talks a lot about the attention economy and the buying and selling of human attention. Here's how the attention marketplace works. You start with an attention buyer. In this example, it could be Nike. Nike goes to an attention merchant, in this example YouTube, and says, I want to buy 3 seconds of attention for 25 people between the ages of 15 to 25 who are interested in basketball. This would be the attention supply. YouTube says, sure, I can give you that attention. That will be about $1,000. Nike gives YouTube $1,000. YouTube gives it the attention of its users, and then the attention supply gets free videos on the internet. Now, this is actually a pretty fair business model, right? Ad-supported businesses allow billions of people to use their products for free, and it also allows advertisers to talk to their target customers. But the reality remains. The attention merchant is making a lot of money from this trade, but the users are not seeing any of the financial upside. Some people say that crypto is basically just turning the whole internet into investment banking now. But if crypto is financializing everything, and human attention is the most important resource we have, why not monetize human attention? Part 2. 3 models for monetizing human attention with crypto. Brave browser, crypto's best attention merchant. Brave is a web browser just like Google Chrome or Safari. The key difference is that you can opt in to get ads on Brave, and if you see an ad, you get paid for it. They pay you using their own token called the basic attention token, which you can freely trade just like any other type of money or send it as a tip to your favorite content creators. More on that in a second. I think Brave's thesis is very powerful for a couple of reasons. First, the web browser is the killer app of crypto. People keep saying that crypto doesn't have a killer app. I believe that the killer app is a web browser. The first reason why is that the addressable market is huge. Everyone that uses the internet uses a web browser in some form, even if you're not into crypto. It's also one of the very few platforms that's not owned by a centralized gatekeeper. So even if you're not into crypto, if you browse the internet and you want privacy, or you just don't want to get seen annoying ads, or you want to get paid for things you're doing anyway, Brave is an excellent browser by itself without the crypto part. I think this is important because many people don't have a use case for crypto currently, but a web browser is a use case that we all have, and it's a beginner-friendly way to get people onboarded onto crypto without changing existing behaviors. The basic attention token has very strong utility. It's one of the very few cryptocurrencies that doesn't rely solely on new buyers to bid up the price. It actually has inherent demand. As long as there are companies that want to buy the attention of potential customers, and there's attention on the Brave browser, there will always be a natural buyer for BAT. It's important to know that this is not going to be life-changing money we're talking about here. People are making around $5 to $10 a month with this thing. But because you're not going out of your way to make this money, it's a pretty cool passive income that you get for browsing the internet and getting some ads. Things which you're already doing anyway. Like I like to say, don't underestimate the things people will do for that additional $5 or $10 a month. It's a more powerful incentive than you might imagine. A very cool feature offered by Brave is the ability to tip your favorite content creators in BAT. Like I said, the amount of BAT you're going to make in a month likely won't be enough to spend on any meaningful expense, but it's just enough that you can redirect it towards a content creator you really like, and you can support them without altering your behavior too much. It's almost like you're redirecting the ads that you didn't want taking your attention and redirecting it towards the content creators that you actually do enjoy spending your attention on. Speaking of tipping content creators, if you like this presentation, feel free to send me a tip to tomiro18.eth. Email, the silent attention thief. Another way our attention gets taken from us is through emails. From downright spam to annoying email newsletter that we forget why we even subscribe to, email is the pernicious attention snatcher. The reason why this problem is so prolific is that the cost of sending emails is so low that people don't really have an incentive to make sure that their email they're sending is actually worth our attention. There was a company called 21.co that had the idea that if you want to send someone an email, you have to pay them first. Even if the cost of sending someone an email was just 10 cents, it introduces just enough of a cost and just enough friction that if I'm going to send someone an email, I'm only going to do it if it's worth 10 cents of my money. This would ensure a high quality of emails that people would send before taking someone's attention. And it would also make sure that the recipients of those emails are being compensated for it. My favorite example, direct-to-consumer attention buying with airdrops. Another way companies in crypto get people's attention is by literally sending them free money. There's an NFT marketplace called LooksRare, which is an OpenSea competitor, and when they launched, they had a very interesting strategy for getting people's attention. They essentially sent free money in the form of Looks tokens to everyone who had bought an NFT on OpenSea in the past. This is a complete game changer in the market of how we get human attention. The closest equivalent to this is things like when Coinbase gave $10 to everyone who scanned their QR code during the Super Bowl. However, there are some important differences. First, this is completely permission, so you first of all need to pay a middleman in the form of a TV network, Google or Facebook ads to run the ads to reach your audience. The next problem is that this may not even be your target audience. While Google and Facebook ads can be very targeted, and the Super Bowl ad is not even targeted at all, even with the more targeted ads, it's still pretty hard to precisely target people based on the purchase history, which is what we're really interested in here. Finally, there's usually still some amount of friction required before they can actually use the incentive you gave to them. With crypto airdrops, it can be done in a completely permissionless, targeted, and frictionless way. To put into context just how important this would be, imagine there was a coffee shop that opened up near your house called Coffee Plus. Imagine if when they launched, they automatically sent you a free $10 Coffee Plus gift card to everyone who had bought a coffee at the neighborhood Starbucks in the last year. The ability to directly pay for the attention of the exact people you want to reach is going to have big implications for how companies acquire attention and how users allocate their attention. Thinking back to the article I mentioned earlier about how crypto is turning the internet into investment banking, I think that's a very narrow way of looking at it. I think what crypto really does is arrange the internet into having better aligned incentives. If you enjoyed this presentation, there's an essay and transcript version of this talk with all my links mentioned. Link would be in the description. So if you found this stuff interesting, here are some tangible action items. 1. Download and use the Brave browser. It's actually a really good browser, and most of the users genuinely love it. Even if you don't use the crypto features, it's still a really good browser. And it's also a really cool way to see what the future of the web browser and internet will look like. 2. Buy some basic attention token. This is actually not financial advice, and I own a small amount of BAT myself, so I am biased. But I think that the best way to incentivize yourself to learn about something is to get some skin in the game. Buy a very small amount. Don't think of it as you're buying an investment. Think of it as you're buying a course to learn about crypto and assume it will go to zero. Treat it as an education expense. Finally, perform an attention audit. Human attention is increasingly valuable, and this presentation was ostensibly about crypto, but really it was about human attention. I think our time and attention is the most valuable thing we have, and it's going to become even more valuable over time. As human attention becomes scarcer, the battle for it will become more intense, and it's important that we all are very intentional about how we spend our time. In the words of Benjamin Franklin, "Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that is the stuff life is made of." Thank you for your time and attention. I hope it was worth it.